Okay, so good evening, everyone. My name is Sandra, and I'm here today to talk about how to optimize your LinkedIn presence, mainly by having a very bold profile. So I'm going to start by sharing my screen. Just give me 1 second, everyone. Okay, so just want to make sure if everyone is seeing my screen. Okay, so like I said, today we're going to start talking about how to improve your LinkedIn presence, which is something very important for everything related with the to the networking part. Okay. So we are going to be talking also with Destiny Young. She's one of our coaches at Divan. She's a career coach and she's a vocational rehabilitation specialist. She's going to be joining us back again soon because she's having some technical difficulties. And again, my name is Sandra. I am also one of the coaches with Divan, and being here today, it is a pleasure for me. I just want to give you some housekeeping rules. Mainly, I'm going to ask all the participants to be muted for the time that we are doing the presentation. At the end, I'm going to open the microphone just to encourage the discussion. No need to use your video or opening your camera. This session, as I mentioned at the beginning, is also being recorded and will be shared with all of you today. Also, we have a Q&A section where you can pose all the questions just by typing the question that you may have, and we will be more than happy to answer all of them. And also, we would like to invite you for the upcoming events that we have. You can just go into our website, divan.ca, all events, and you will be able to see all the magnificent events that we have regarding immigration processes, regarding job search strategy, also sessions with specialists in some fields. So we wanted to invite you also for joining us for that part. Okay? Now, let me give you a quick reminder about who we are at Divan. So we focus on helping students and new graduates to get hired in Canada. We know how to address the labor market, and we also know how to improve all your resume, your cover letter, and all the job-ready tools that you need in order to succeed in the Canadian job search. We have been supporting more than 25K individuals among Canada from different institutions and different profiles to find employment here. And also, we have posted more than 500 events with live career experts and events for career development since 2019. So even before the pandemic, we started with the Divan process, and we have been able to support more than 500 events. Also, we work with more than 30 Canadian employers who are looking to hire our graduates. They are pretty much aware about what does it take to hire a person who is either a student or a new graduate. So they are mostly aware about what to expect when hiring someone with that particular profile, okay? So now let's focus on the main part, which is how to create an amazing LinkedIn profile. It is not easy for many of you. It's perhaps the first time that you are creating like a new LinkedIn profile, and you might have a lot of questions. So I'm going to start with the basics. Okay, so one of the first things that anyone is going to see on your LinkedIn profile is for sure your picture. So just in order to make sure that you have created a great first impression, we need to be sure that you have the best picture available. It is one of the most crucial components of your profile because it's going to give, like I said, the first impression, and typically it's the first thing that someone is going to see on your profile. Research has shown that just by having a good picture, your profile will be 14 times more reachable to people and more likely to be viewed by others, especially recruiters. We want to catch the attention from the recruiters. And having a good picture certainly increase those odds even more. Okay? So now, how to choose the best picture? It's not a matter of how we look in terms of having, like particular characteristics. It's mostly about looking very professional. So please make sure that you have a clear, recent, and high resolution image. You certainly want to have something that is going to show who you really are. Also, your face should fill about the 60% of the frames from the shoulders up. So it's not a full body picture, it's not just the face. You want to show from your shoulders up, filling up the 60% of the frame. Okay? Now, be the only person present in the picture. Family pictures, friends pictures are not very professional. Also, they are going to create a confusion about who you are. So make sure that you are the only person in the picture, not creating any additional information that might be distractful for anyone looking at your profile. Also, when you are taking the picture, even if you decide not to go for a professional photograph, you can always take a good picture, making sure that you are using a tripod or having someone else taking that picture just to ensure that the picture is neat, is clear, and is also looking very neat. You want to have the best resolution possible. Now, choose the right facial expression. How do you want to be perceived in the picture? You don't want to be like you are mad with someone, like you are very serious, but also you don't want to look like you are an unprofessional person, like having a picture where you are just laughing out loud or something like that. So have a nice expression that is going to communicate that you are a good person, because it's going to demonstrate that you can work as part of a team. Also, it's going to demonstrate perhaps that you are a person who is easy to handle, like an easygoing person, but also very professional, okay? Avoid any distracting backgrounds. So usually, if you need to remove a background, let's say that you have a great picture but was taken in a place where there is a lot of background images, you can use like Photoshop or any additional resources just to remove that background. Or even better, if you can go and take a professional picture with a green screen, will be so much better, okay? Also, try to dress for the job you want, not for the job you have. That also applies for the picture that you're taking. So try to dress very professional, particularly for the picture. We have some examples in the presentation. And also be very aware of the industry that you are applying for. It's not the same to be applying for a work or for a job at the financial sector other than the trades or the construction sector, or even a different attire is required for working in social services. So make sure that the industry that you are applying to has some dressing code that you are willing to take, not only for the picture, but just going further for the time when you get the employment. And at least make sure that you have, at last, sorry, make sure that you have a natural soft lighting for the picture. That's why we also recommend to have like a professional picture being taken with a professional photographer, okay? We have some examples here. As you can see, the background has been vanished. The two candidates are also dressing very professional for the picture. So with that being said, we would like to assess if you were able to see the difference between the two pictures that we have here. So which one do you think will be the good picture, like the appropriate picture, and which one won't be the one? You can just send us the emoticon and we will know. Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, definitely. So, okay, perfect. That's right. Thank you, Savio. Yeah, definitely. Like you can see on this picture over here that the lady is having a lot of shadow on her face. So it's really difficult to see who the person is. Also, she's filling up the frame, but not from the shoulders up. So you cannot see like the proper person. It looks kind of not very professional. This one is definitely so much better. Okay. Now, what about this one over here? Do you think one of these is better than the other one? Perfect. Okay, that is great. Why? Mainly because, as we mentioned before, you definitely don't want to be with more people on the picture. Like this one over here, you will never know who is the person who is attached to the profile, right? We have two ladies and a gentleman, and it's very confusing. Okay? Now, what about these two other pictures? Do you think one is better than the other one? Correct. You want to make sure that you are the only one? Correct. Exactly. Okay, perfect. Yeah, definitely. This is a good picture. So you can see that the person is smiling, looks with a nice attitude, but is someone like focused on providing some information. This one over here looks like someone just having fun, something very informal, which is probably fine for another social media, but definitely not for LinkedIn. You can see that the person is not even looking up front, which is also highly recommended. Okay? Okay, what about this one over here? Definitely, this is not what you want, not providing this kind of message. You don't want to be seen as someone who is just partying, taking things very easily, because it's not sending the right message. This one over here, you can barely see the face of the person in the profile. It's not like a neat, very well defined picture. And this one, since this one is a full body picture, also with a body language that might create some misunderstanding, is not recommended. Like a full body picture is going to send too much information about who you are, how do you dress, what do you like, how's your body. You don't need to share that with anyone, especially in a social media channel like LinkedIn. This one, these three other pictures, on the other hand, are very professional. You can see a good expression. You can see someone who is clearly sending the message, hey, this is me, this is who I am. Okay? Now, let's go to the background image. The banner image that you have is also very important for many reasons. One of the first thing people is going to notice when they visit your page, like your profile website, is going to be the photograph for you, but also for the background. So the background is also creating, a new message about who you are, and is also giving information about where have you been, what kind of things do you like, and how do you want to be associated with some particular field, okay? Don't make the mistake of leaving the LinkedIn default banner image. So when you are creating the LinkedIn profile, there is a banner that is kind of green or blue, depending on the account that you have. And that one comes as a default image, okay? Although it's not a bad banner itself, it's going to showcase that you are not paying attention to that particular detail, which is very important. So we want to change the banner. This one is the banner over here for something that is also providing a good message about what you do, who you are, what do you like. Okay? Something that is also not creating a distraction, which is very important. You don't want to create a distraction because you want people to focus only on your picture and the message that you are transmitting over here. Okay? So think about your personal brand and your industry once again. So if you are someone working in the bank industry, perhaps you want to showcase something on the background that is talking about investment, money, financial services, something very kind of serious because you want people to take you seriously, right? But let's say that you are looking for a position or you are working in a creative industry, you are a marketer. So for someone in marketing, being creative is one of the main skills. In that case, having something creative associated to your field, but also to your image will be a great fit, okay?
If I could just add just a quick recommendation for finding your banners. So I don't know if any of you are familiar with Canva. I can pop the link into the chat after this, but Canva actually has the correct size for templates for LinkedIn banners specifically. And much like Sandra was explaining, you can choose, like filter it out per industry. So say you chose medical, then there would be a picture of a stethoscope, or HR, it'd be like paperwork or an office setting. So that is a great idea to find banner images. So I'm going to pop it in the chat. I just wanted to add that in.
Thank you, Destiny. And I'm glad that you have audio again. I was mentioning that you were having some, we were having some technical difficulties.
Yes, I'm so sorry about that, but
No,
I'm glad
that's
I could
okay.
join again. And I'm
It
Destiny.
happens. Okay, so now with the Canvas resources that Destiny just shared, I think it's going to be so much easier because you don't have to overthink about your industry. However, there are some ideas here. So for a workspace, this is also something very professional. It's going to showcase that you are focusing on work, that you somehow know how to use a computer. It's kind of neutral, but it's very good. So clean office space with a desk, laptop, and stationery can be a good option. Also, something that combines professionalism is ideal for corporate professionals. Again, someone in law, someone, let's say in banking, financial investment, you want to be taken very seriously. No one is going to put their money with someone who is partying all the time, right? Now, something similar to this, like this city space, is very good as well. So the skyline is a general thing. This one in particular, as you can see, is the Toronto skyline, but you can go for a general one or any other significant landmark. You can also share your geographical location or personal history. That's also something very creative that can be for some fields that are less formal, perhaps, or something related to a cause or a mission. Connect with your career mission. Like these windmills over here, for someone into, let's say, green building construction can be a great option. Someone into technology as well, right? So I guess the resource that you just shared is now on the chat, as we can see, will be a great resource because sometimes you don't have the ideas on how to communicate the field that you work for, okay? Now, for someone into the trade, something related with tools, something related to the gadgets that you use for the work you do can be also a good option. What about colors and textures? This one can be a little bit risky, especially if you are not into a creative field. But for someone working with design, with marketing, let's say someone working with creating content, this can be a good option, okay? So you can utilize captain colors or abstract designs and consider the emotional impact of colors and textures. That's why it's risky because colors are also something very subjective and for some people can mean one thing, for some other people can mean other different thing, but if you know how to handle it, will be also something very catchy for any recruiter, okay? And last but not least, and especially using a tool like Canvas, you can create your own background. You can create a banner like this one, perhaps with your name and even your role. This one here is for a marketing manager. It demonstrates someone with the ability to create an image for their own, someone very professional. So it's kind of a good message. Okay, you can use again something as Canvas to create the unique banner or customize with your name, photo, and elements from previous options. So try to be creative, but always keep in mind that By choosing any kind of background and image, you are also communicating and sending a message, okay? Now, let's go to the very first part of the content, which is the LinkedIn headline. It's the second thing someone is going to see on your profile. So right under the picture, there is a headline saying who you are. So the brief text located just below the name on the profile is going to be the headline for the role that you want to get hired. So you can see here, this is an example for our event coordinator. So you need to be smart on using the right words here and try to be very concise because this is a short text that anyone is going to read. Okay, so you can customize the statement that describes your professional identity and makes people want to learn more. So it's very often that you see profiles just posting the kind of role that the person was either having or is applying to. So don't put something like X person, let's say John Doe, corporate lawyer, because that is going to be just your title. You want to tell a little bit more about who you are and what you do. Think of this section a little bit as your elevator pitch. So it's kind of a short fraction of your elevator pitch. Okay, so it's not corporate lawyer, it's a corporate lawyer helping companies to succeed in new brands, right? Okay, this plays a key role on your LinkedIn search algorithm. So for any recruiter looking to hire, this is going to affect how often you appear in search results for specific words. So someone looking for a corporate lawyer will see you, but someone looking for someone working with, let's say, small companies, probably will see your profile faster than other people who doesn't have the clue words. So this is very important, how you want to be found. What words should you put over here on your headline to be seen by the recruiters, okay? Now, what is like the magic formula for this? Of course, there is not a magic formula, but we want to give you 3 different tips that you can use. First one is definitely the job title at the company. So yes, you can be John Doe, a corporate lawyer at Acme LLP, right? Then 2, 3, or 4 skills that makes you unique. Okay, so you can say, yes, I'm a marketing manager at XY company. I work in digital marketing, SAO, and content strategy. So those are the 3 special skills that someone like a recruiter is going to search for. Okay, then you can use the job title at the company, the aspirations and missions. So what makes you unique in terms of what kind of roles you're looking for and what makes you passionate about. So you can also go for the John Doe, Human Resources Manager at Global Corp, passionate about talent development. Okay, so I will know what is this person passionate about, but I will also know that this person is trying to work toward this kind of development, like talent development, recruitment, human resources, etc. Third one can be the aspiring job title. This is also very good for someone who is a new graduate. The relevant skills plus the academic pursuit, like aspiring marketing coordinator, social media management, content creator, and bachelor in marketing. So this is particularly good for someone with little experience, okay? Because it's going to send a message that you are well prepared for any of these roles, okay? So we are going to have room for questions at the end, but if you have any questions, just feel free to put them on the chat as well. Okay, now let's go to the particular sections for the profile, okay? So once you go to the About section, this is going to be a short version of your resume, okay? So you want the person to read this to make sure that they understand who you are and what you can do. So this is a comprehensive summary of your professional background, achievements, and also aspirations, which is very important. Then try to tell your career story in your own words, offering insights into your personality. If there is something specific in your personality that makes you unique, that makes you good at work, make sure that that is like remarked there, okay? Any values, any goals, any work that you do with the community regarding your career, anything like that should be there. Then the keywords that you use in your about section. That is very important because again, the keywords are going to help you with the algorithm. So you can improve your discoverability in LinkedIn searches. Okay, so recruiters usually search by clue words. That's why you want to be seen by the recruiters or anyone looking to hire. And lastly, is about 3 paragraphs length. Don't be too short, don't be too long. This is restricted to somehow 300 words, which is around 3 paragraphs, and that will be enough to say who you are, what you have done, and what is your career goal. So if you think that way, perhaps you can use 1 paragraph to answer one of each questions, okay? So again, 1 about your professional background, 2nd paragraph about your story, about who you are, what makes you unique, and lastly, the clue words that makes you found by recruiters, okay? Okay, now, again, this is a general formula that might be a good option for some of you, depending on your profile, depending also on your experience. So you can go for the present, past, and future. What you do, how you got here, like education and previous roles that you have performed, and what do you want to do in the future, okay? The second approach that we can follow is who I am, what I do, not only the role I perform, but mainly what I am good at it and what makes me different, okay? Let's say that you are working in marketing, but you excel at creating content, right? That is something that not everyone can do, perhaps among other marketeers, you are particularly good in that and you can remark that, okay? So your personality, skills, the job that you have at the moment, the duties that you follow, and also what makes you unique, what makes you remarkable compared to others. And lastly, the academic backgrounds and aspiration. Let's say that you are still studying or you are a new graduate and you want to make sure that someone knows that you are studying at this particular moment, that you are a good student with achievements and ongoing projects, okay? That's also very important that you can use to play in your favor. Let's say that you are a new graduate with little experience, but you have been taking some classes where you have, let's say, a capstone project. Use that as experience because it is experience. It's something that you have done on your own, okay? Not for work, it's not being paid, but it's part of what makes you unique as well, okay? And also your career aspirations, okay? So you are studying, you are doing great capstone projects, but also you want to work, let's say, in the automotive industry, okay? And you have done the best project in the manufacturing course that you took at the college, okay? So those are things that you can use just to put on the about section. It is not a magic formula, but can help you to develop the LinkedIn profile again. Now let's go to the experience section. This one in particular can be difficult, especially if you don't have a lot of experience, okay? But you want definitely to showcase your professional journey from past roles to current responsibilities, okay? Make sure that you take the best out of each role each job that you have has value, even if it's outside of the field. Perhaps if you don't have a lot of experience, but you have done a couple of survival jobs as a student, you can also put the transferable skills from those jobs to the profile section, even for further positions, okay? Include all the internships, freelance work, and part-time jobs. That's why I'm saying don't forget about those jobs that you think are not important. All of them are, okay? That's something that you need to keep in mind. Also, it is crucial for attracting hiring managers and recruiters. Okay, you don't want to be dismissed just because you skip a job that you thought was not important. So make sure that you put all the jobs and taking the best or the best outcomes that you have from that role. And lastly, a well-crafted experience section will increase your profile visibility, your connections, because someone is going to ask you to connect or someone is going to accept your connection request just because you have experience in a particular field. Okay, same goes to requests for connection, messages, everything. So this will definitely improve your chances of getting like a better networking or better connections, okay? So the experience section has to be completed as well, okay? Now, this is something to keep in mind. You want this one to look as your resume, but not with all the details, okay? So mandatory details are job title. Definitely you want to have that. The company where you work or are you working right now, the start date and the end date. Why? Because the algorithm is going to put that in a chronological order, okay? Also, it is highly recommended to put the employment type. Was that an internship? Was that a part-time job? Was that a full-time job? And where did you work for that company in that particular role? Okay? So similar to the way you put it on the resume, you want to have all the information, okay? Now, do not leave the description blank. Same rule as the resume. If you put a job here, you want to make sure that you put something here, mainly the achievements, not necessarily the task, because it's kind of obvious that if you were working as a, let's say, a marketing creator, right? As a marketing specialist, you were creating content. But what you want to remark is what you did that was particularly good when creating content. Like I created, let's say, 200 plus pages of content for Instagram, Facebook, and other social media. That is different, okay? So focus on the achievements, not necessarily on the task, okay? Now, for creating a, like the best experience description, okay? Be very descriptive. Make sure that you communicate what you did, what was your role, your responsibilities, and your achievement. Especially if you can use number, will be so much better. So try to use number to quantify those achievements. Say things like 100% customer satisfaction. You were working in retail and you had 100% customer satisfaction, never had a complaint before. Okay, that is quantifying that. Then you try to use action verbs. Okay, so action verbs somehow describe the impactful effect that you had with your job, okay? So what made you succeed with that particular role? So you implemented, you achieved, you created, you managed, you oversaw, okay? Those are called action verbs, and powerful action verbs are going to make the difference. Then clarity and conciseness. You want to be very concise and you want to communicate effectively, avoiding jargon and using the less words possible for communicating that, okay? Then the company context. Not everyone knows every company, especially if we come from a different country, no one is going to know where we were working. So you want to put, I was working at Acme Company, which is a automotive manufacturing industry country in, let's say, in China, right? So you want to make sure that the person reading that section is also aware about the industry that you were working before, okay? And also make sure that the format can be the ATS, it's scannable. So when someone is reading that through the ATS scanner, it's going to overpass that, okay? We also have another session that is coming soon, I think, about how to be the ATS, okay? Now, tips for creating the experience descriptions again. Instead of putting something like design marketing campaigns for a software product, which is something basically expected from someone at this role, you can say something like, I developed targeted marketing campaigns that resulted in a 30% increase in user engagement and 25 rise in product adoption rates over a 6-month period. This is so much complete because somehow it's showing the achievement, okay? You develop the marketing campaign, also the impact of that marketing campaign in numbers, okay? 30% increase in user engagement and 25% in product adoption, okay? So this is just to give you an idea about how it should be done, okay? Now, we also are providing some mini courses this month. Our coach has the course for LinkedIn. She told us it is a free course that you can access. I'm going to ask Destiny for help opening that one. If you have the link there, can you open it? So I can leave this one open.
Yeah, just give me a moment and I will bring it
Thank
up
you.
here.
In the meantime, I'm going to have the chat open here. If anyone has any questions, please be open. Feel free, sorry, to put them on the chat. Anyone who has questions about how to improve the profile? Okay, we have one here. Yes, go ahead. Let me open the microphone to her. Okay. Shanaz, you can tell us your question. I opened your microphone already.
Hi.
Hi, how
Hi,
are you?
this is Shanaz. So I had one question, like I'm having experience back from home country. So I would like to know, like, is there a limit on the bullet points, like to explain there? Is there any limit how we could explain? Because I have 4 to 5 companies, 8+ years of experience in
Okay, that
data
is an
engineering.
excellent question. So you just hit the nail because mainly it depends of how many jobs you have had in the past. In your case, since you mentioned you have around 8 companies, you can put, let's say, between 3 to 5 bullet points for those companies and roles that are definitely into the same field that you are looking to get hired here in Canada. Let's say that everything that matches the job that you want to have here has
Mm-hmm.
to be more explicit than any other jobs that perhaps you have done in the past, but are not um as on the same field as the one
Okay.
that you are applying. I'm not sure if that answered your questions.
Yes, yes. I'm pretty much in the same field. I
Oh,
have data engineering experience and I'm looking for data science and artificial intelligence role. I think then it would count there. So since I
okay.
have, 8+ years of experience, I really wanted to know. Thank you for your feedback. I got to know it would be like 4 to 5 points would be enough because I have good amount of experience back from home country.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Thank you
If
very
you
much.
if you think it's too long, perhaps
Mm-hmm.
you can limit that to at least 2 or 3. So the less
Okay.
you need to put is at least 2 achievements. It's like
Okay.
the least you can do. But if you have a lot of experience, perhaps you can put just 3 for each word, since all the jobs are related to the same field. And
Yes.
make sure that it's not the same information for all of them. It's not repetitive. So you want to demonstrate that you have done different things, okay?
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
No problem.
While I have the screen up, I can also demonstrate, as long as everyone can see this, once you sign into your Devant career portal. So you're just going to click here on courses and certificates. And then the third one down is the LinkedIn mini course that Sandra was referring to. Oh, it's having me log in again. Okay, give me a moment. I will log in again. I will reshare. Maybe in the time being, there's another question in the chat as well, so I can allow him to. Okay. Pranjal, I have unmuted your mic.
Hello, I'm Pranjal, and I want to ask that I just completed my bachelor's degree and now I'm pursuing my master's degree. In between, I had no gap and I have no job experience. So, how am I going to manage my LinkedIn profile with no job experience?
Okay, that is also very common among students because, like you say, you just went directly from the bachelor to the master. So you can overpass that by putting the projects and your interests, mainly the capstone projects that you have done for the particular or most important topics or courses, either during the bachelor and now moving forward to the master. During the master. Let me give you an example. You completed your bachelor and you are pursuing a career in a field where perhaps half of the courses were absolutely relevant to the field that you want to enroll. So in that case, just put the 2 or 3 projects, okay, and achievements that you got during the bachelor in that specific field, okay?
I would also
Okay,
recommend.
perfect. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, I'm so sorry. You please continue.
No, that's okay. I would also recommend looking into maybe potential experiential learning opportunities. I don't know if you're connected with your career coordinator at the Career Center, or career counselor there, but it is possible that, there could be some short-term opportunities that you could maybe handle along with the studies. I know it's probably a lot, but the more practical experience you can have in combination with your academics is really going to make you more competitive in the field.
Yes, that would be very much helpful. And also, one last thing, that does it matter if my LinkedIn profile does not have much experience, so the employers will not try to contact me because of my lack of experience? What I mean is, does the amount of writings that I do in my LinkedIn profile have an impact on employers' mind?
I think if you filled out your profile to the best of your ability, right? Because you can't put false information on there. So you have to put everything that you've done. And that could include any volunteer work, even jobs that you don't think are relevant. You likely have transferable skills from those jobs. So it would actually be beneficial. And if you're unsure, I would try to schedule another appointment to have some advice from a career coordinator or from one of us. You can schedule a separate appointment as well, just to have that reviewed. Have you
Yes,
had
that
other jobs in the past?
I just did. There is an app called Chegg. Basically, that's an American technological company. So I
Okay.
used to solve questions on Chegg. People from America used to send questions. They have queries. Basically, I'm from economics side.
Yeah.
So they used to put economics questions over there, and I used to solve them. I have been working with Chegg company since September 2021. I mentioned that everywhere, but else I do not have much except for my internships and obviously the projects that I did in my bachelor's degree.
Yeah, so to me, that sounds like you have some really good customer service
Mhm.
experience, and it's continuous customer service experience. Not only that, but you've had to use critical thinking skills and problem solving skills to help resolve those issues that customers are bringing to you. So that's definitely valuable. I would highlight that, and like you said, along with the other projects that you've done, and then look into seeing if there's other, short-term experiential opportunities or maybe internships that you could do to enhance the profile even more and just your career path.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. Thank you.
Also, I'm finally signed in again, so
Mhm.
I'm just going to quickly share. Hopefully it stays signed in. Okay, so again, you're just going on to your portal here on Devant, and then you're going to click on the courses and certificates. The third one down is the LinkedIn mini course that we were referring to. So you can start that course by just launching each of these parts of the course. So there's separate modules. So you're going to want to start out with the welcome and LinkedIn basics, move over to personal branding. I'll just click on that one to show you. And so with each module, you're going to have tasks to complete, and it'll show you, it tracks your completion. So you're going to walk through the steps. It's very easy to follow and will help you build your LinkedIn profile. So it's a nice guide to have alongside you as you're building.
Thank you so much, Destiny. I just want to remark that we also have two questions here on the Q&A. One is, if I am not looking for a job or hiring someone, normally how people use LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is mainly for networking, and networking is a usable resource that you never know when it's going to be of help. So even if you are not looking to hire right now or you are not looking for a job, you can just expand your network, adding people who are going to tell you more about a particular industry just for creating connections. Okay, so it's a social media designed particularly for professional purposes. So it's not like Facebook, it's not like Instagram, it's only for professional purposes. That's why people use LinkedIn, regardless of the job search point where they are. Okay, we
I think
also, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No,
Go ahead.
yeah, to add on to that, I also think LinkedIn is great for research. So whatever field you're interested in or you're studying in, so be it human resources, IT, supply chain management, you can type that into the search field and then click on people. And so that will bring up a bunch of profiles with people who have, like Sandra presented, in their headline, they have written, human resources professional. And then you can look at their profile and see, what did they study? What additional courses did they take? Where did they start their career? What internships did they take? And then use that to sort of build up your career research and see if you can emulate that path for yourself. So I think it's great as a research tool. Of course, it's a professional a networking platform, but I use it for research a lot as well.
Definitely. Okay. So lastly, I'm going to briefly share the next events that we have, okay? Because we are running out of time. Okay, can you see my screen? So as mentioned at the beginning, we constantly have different workshops that are open for you. And the next one is coming up on June 5, is connecting with confidence, LinkedIn networking. Okay, so all our events are posted here in our website in the all events section. You just need to go there and register and you will receive the Zoom link. And then on June, we also have the career development Q&A, is what we used to call the career cafe. And lastly, we have the immigration Q&A through the Ontario Immigrant Nominee Programs, okay? So it is very important that you keep in mind those dates and join for the coming events that we have for the month of June, okay? So that's what we wanted to share with all of you today. And we wanted also to thank you all for participating in the webinar. I'm not sure, Destiny, if you have anything else.
No, I'm just sorry for joining late, but I'm glad I was able to join. And I do think that event next week is a good extension to this event now. So after you've developed your profile, how do you maximize that? How do you use that to network professionally? So just teaching you how to send those professional messages out to potential connections.
Definitely.
Because it is different from a Facebook,
Definitely. So looking forward to seeing you all on June 5, okay? And I hope this session was helpful. Just make sure that you use your LinkedIn profile actively because definitely it's a great resource that you can use for professional purposes, even for connecting with people that will be helpful, even if you are starting at this moment and will be a good connection in the near future, okay? Thank you all for being here with us today and have a great evening.